it's Michelle. I'm here today to do a huge book haul. I've got 2 new books and then a bunch of used books that I found at thrift shops locally. I'm going to read the synopsis for each of the books. I do it that way because I'm just not good at paraphrasing, but this is a great video to watch if you're looking for some new books to read or some used books to purchase and read. If you don't want to go look around at thrift shops, I recommend going to a used bookstore, or there's a website called Better World Books. I really love buying used books from them. I think that they are a wonderful organization. Their aim is to get the books in the hands of as many people as they can, not just in America, but across the world. They are trying to get books in libraries, especially in neighborhoods that maybe don't have the money to buy a bunch of books for their libraries. So it's a really good company to use if you're looking to buy any of the books that I talked to you about today, or any other used books. Also, if you're looking for collectible books, you can find those on Better World Books as well. Of course, eBay and used bookstores. First 2 books I want to talk to you about are backlist books from 2 of my favorite authors. I've been trying to concentrate on certain authors or get some of their older books so that I can read more of their work if I like their writing. My favorite book is Follow Your Heart by Susanna Tamaro. Now, this book was originally written in Italian and translated to a bunch of different languages. Lucky for me, English happened to be one of them. I found this book on a clearance rack at Barnes & Noble in the late 90s, back when they used to have those dollar books on that one rack, like a metal rack off in the corner. I don't know if all of them did it or just my local one, but that's where I found this book, and it just happened to be the best book I've ever read. So I decided to try to find more of her books, and she has written quite a few books, but I could only find one that has been translated to English and that was available. And it was the last one, supposedly, that I bought. If you're interested in getting this one, you might have to do some digging or maybe find a used one somewhere, but this was the last new one that I could find. It's called The Tiger and the Acrobat. Love this cover, by the way. Little Tiger is not like other tigers, not content to spend her days alone, roaming the snow forests of Siberia hunting prey. She prefers instead to ponder the ways of the world. One day, eager to discover her own place within it, she sets out on a remarkable journey to discover the secret of life and to meet the creatures she has heard most about. Humans. A moving tale of bravery and spirit, The Tiger and the Acrobat is a celebration of the power of friendship and a testament to the courage it takes to be true to ourselves. It's only 160 pages long, and the copyright on it is 2016. Another author that I have just fallen in love with is S.A. Cosby. I've got his 2 books right here, but I was actually looking up some interviews that he had done, wanting to learn more about him, and I found out that he actually did write another book before these 2 came out that he self-published, and I had it in my inbox for a little while online, and then I got a notification that this was the last one. So I decided to get this at the same time that I got the other one. It was a weird day for me. Both of them said within 2 days of each other that they were the last copy available. And I thought, okay, this is Kismet. I have to do it. So it's called My Darkest Prayer. Here's the cover. Whether it's working at his cousin's funeral home or tossing around the local riffraff at his favorite bar, Nathan Waymaker is a man who knows how to handle the bodies. A former Marine and sheriff's deputy, Nathan has built a reputation in his small southern town as a man you can go to for help when all other avenues have been exhausted. When a local minister with grandiose ambitions is found dead, Nathan is approached by his parishioners who feel the local police are dragging their feet with the investigation. What starts out as an easy payday soon descends into a maze of mayhem filled with wannabe gangsters, vicious crime lords, porn stars, crooked police officers, and a particularly treacherous preacher and his mysterious wife. Nathan must use all of his varied skills and some of his wit to navigate the murky waters of small-town corruption, even as dark secrets of his own threaten to come to the surface. This one is pretty short too. It's 213 pages long. My mom was recently in town and we went to 8 thrift shops. And I got some books. Of course I got books, right? I wouldn't be me if I didn't get books. The first place that we went was a Goodwill clearance center. And I quickly discovered that clearance centers really aren't for me. If you're not familiar with clearance centers, it's where everything goes to die, I would say. They put things that haven't sold in the different Goodwill stores in bins. They leave them out for just a short amount of time. And if they aren't picked up, they throw them away. And I don't know if these things have actually been in Goodwills though, because I've been to 2 clearance centers now in Las Vegas and none of them have price tags on them. And I'm trying to figure out, would they really take the time to remove all the price tags? So I did find a couple books in the few bins I was able to look at before they took them away. And I will show you what those are. I got Southern Living 1987 Annual Recipes. I love cooking from scratch, and I just find older recipes from, I want to say, the year 2000 or before. They've got better tips, I feel like, and I feel like the recipes are better, and I can change them to meet my dietary needs or whatever pretty easily, but they just have more of a diner feel to them, or a meat and potatoes kind of feel, which is more my style. The one thing about these older books, they don't have the best pictures, but here's one old picture that they do have in there. These books tend to have a lot more recipes in them and not as many pictures. They're not like the modern cookbooks where each page is a different recipe. You can get, well, this one page has 3 recipes on it, for example. Then I found a cookbook that I have been wanting for years. And I think anybody who loves to cook should probably just have this in their collection just because. And that would be Mastering the Art of French Cooking by Julia Child. This is not the vintage one. This one was printed in 2001. It does have a price tag on it of $40, and I spent, I think it was 50 cents on it. So can't beat that price. It doesn't look like anyone ever used it. You know how cookbooks are. There's usually post-it notes or things are underlined or that kind of thing. There's nothing like that in here. But this is just a really good historical book to have if you like to cook. It's also a great way to learn how to cook. And I like it more underneath the jacket personally. And if you've seen the movie Julie and Julia and you love it, let me know. That's one of my favorite movies. I cannot watch that movie enough times. This next book, I just couldn't let somebody throw this away. I couldn't let it end up in a landfill. It's the Babysitters Club Super Mystery number 4, Christmas Chiller. As Christmas approaches, there's a chill in the air, not from the weather, but from the mysterious goings-on in Stony Brook. Someone is breaking into houses in Christie and Abby's neighborhood. Meanwhile, Mallory is struggling to help a woman who has suddenly appeared in town with no identification and no memory. In New York City, Stacy and Claudia are being followed, and someone is leaving very odd, unsettling gifts at Stacy's door. It looks as if the Babysitters are in for a very scary Christmas. So I love the Babysitters Club. I think most Gen Xers probably do, and I really like the Super Mystery series that they came out with, or that she came out with, Ann M. Martin. And this book is a little distorted, but I'm going to put it underneath a bunch of heavy books and hopefully it will straighten out. Now this is going to be a long video, and if you're not interested in all of the books that I'm talking about, I will have timestamps down below so you can skip to different books if you don't want to hear about every single one of them. This next book has a copyright of 1961, and it is 277 pages long. It's called Travels with Charley in Search of America by John Steinbeck. To hear the speech of the real America, to smell the grass and trees, to see the colors and the light, these were John Steinbeck's goals as he set out at the age of 58 to rediscover the country he had been writing about for so many years. With Charley, his French poodle, Steinbeck drives the interstates and the country roads, dines with truckers, encounters bears at Yellowstone, and finds old friends in San Francisco. And he reflects on the American character, racial hostility, on a particular form of American loneliness he finds almost everywhere, and on the unexpected kindness of strangers that is also a very real part of our national identity. Kindness of strangers. I feel like that is not as alive as it used to be. Is it just me? I feel like people more and more just kind of want to stay out of things and maybe not help other people. This next book has a copyright of 2012, and it's 562 pages long. And this is an author that I have heard wonderful things about, but have not had a chance to read yet. I thought this would be a great way to dip my toe in the water and see if I like her writing. The book is Criminal by Karin Slaughter. Will Trent is a brilliant agent with the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Newly in love, he is beginning to put a difficult past behind him. Then a local college student goes missing, and Will is inexplicably kept off the case by his supervisor and mentor, Deputy Director Amanda Wagner. Will cannot fathom Amanda's motivation until the two of them literally collide in an abandoned orphanage they have both been drawn to for different reasons. Decades before, when his father was imprisoned for murder, this was Will's home. It appears that the case that launched Amanda's career 40 years ago has suddenly come back to life, and it involves the long-held mystery of Will's birth and parentage. Now these two dauntless investigators will each need to face down demons from the past if they are to prevent an even greater terror from being unleashed. That sounds really good. If you hear weird sounds and you see me moving around, it's because Marty has entered the room and I am petting him. But as many of you know, he likes to sing, so that's what you're hearing. I should probably explain this next book a little bit before I show it to you, because some people might be a little alarmed. To me, one of the beautiful things about reading is that I can experience what other people are going through, what their lives are about, what their lives are like. I actually prefer to read books that aren't about people who are just like me. And this book is about people who are not like me probably at all, but it's definitely something I'm interested in hearing about and understanding more. The copyright is 2001, and the book is 254 pages long. The book is called Brothel, Mustang Ranch and Its Women by Alexa Albert. I am just going to read a little review blurb because the synopsis is really long on this one. Revealing, sympathetic, and compelling. Albert offers deft and unforgettable portraits of not only the working women at Mustang Ranch, but also an entire community that has developed around them. Fascinating and gripping. And everything you wanted to know look into legalized prostitution. Doesn't this sound fascinating, though? Prostitution is the world's oldest profession, right? I find it very fascinating, and it's not something I want to go try to learn about, but I would love to live vicariously through people that write about it. The next book has a copyright from 1946, and it is 182 pages long. This is a book I thought I bought before, and it ended up being a really long dissertation about this book, but it wasn't actually the book. I don't know. This book is Animal Farm by George Orwell. Oh, it's got other stories in here too, so maybe Animal Farm isn't that long. Oh yeah, it's not. Okay, hold on here. Okay, Animal Farm is 97 pages long. And the rest of the book, okay. It's got The Rise and Fall of the Soviet Union by Michael Kort, The Stalin Epigram by Osip Mandelstam, The Rebellion of the Magical Rabbits by Ariel Dorfman, Crow Song by Margaret Atwood, Harris Bergeron by Kurt Vonnegut Jr. I love Kurt Vonnegut. The Birds by Daphne du Maurier. Oh, well, would you look at that? That's really neat that there's some related readings in the back. I love that. Oh, I really want to read this right now. I can't, but The Animal Farm is a powerful fable that uses animals to reflect human political failure. And I've heard from so many people that this book is amazing. If you liked 1984, you will like this. Now I have a antique book that my mom gave me that she had since she was a little girl, and it's a Nancy Drew book called The Witch Tree Symbol. And I wanted to kind of start, maybe not all of them, but collecting some of the Nancy Drew books and maybe reading them. I don't want to read my mom's copy since it's an antique. I want to keep it in really good condition. But I can get some of the other Nancy Drew books, or even that one, that are a little bit newer that I can actually read and not feel guilty about. The first one I got was The Hidden Staircase. And in case you don't know, these are by Carolyn Keene. I didn't know. Oh, what's this one about? It's 182 pages long. The copyright is 1930, huh? Wow, I didn't know that these books were that old. Huh. There's interesting artwork in there. It doesn't say what this book is about. The other one that I got was The Clue in the Crumbling Wall. Love that cover. And this one is number 22 in the series. I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but The Hidden Staircase is number 2. The copyright on this one is 1945. And it has 181 pages. Do you have certain books that if you see, you're going to buy them so you can collect them? For me, it's Sweet Valley High. What is it called? Sweet Valley Twins, when they're in junior high. I would like a few of those. Not all of them, but a few of them. R.L. Stine books, especially the ones that are for high schoolers, the YA ones, not the middle grade ones. But I really like that. R.L. Stine books, Christopher Pike, the original Care Bears books, the ones that look like this. I loved those. I don't know why I let them go, but I am planning on collecting them. Okay. Oh, and also Agatha Christie books. I want to collect her books as well. As you know, I have a canvas print of hers up on the wall here in this library. These last books are all from a thrift shop called Savers, which I don't think is everywhere. If it's in your area, let me know, but I know it's here in Nevada. I don't know if it's in any other states. And all the other thrift books are from Goodwills. I got Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie, and I really like that cover. The tranquility of a cruise along the Nile was shattered by the history that Lynette Ridgway had been shot through the head. She was young, stylish, and beautiful, a girl who had everything, until she lost her life. Hercule Poirot recalled an earlier outburst by a fellow passenger. "I'd like to put my dear little pistol against her head and just press the trigger." Yet in this exotic setting, nothing is ever quite what it seems. That sounds fun. And now this book, I know they just made this into another movie, so I'm hoping to read this soon so that I can watch the new movie. I mentioned that I collect R.L. Stine books. I got 3 of them. I'm so excited. And by the way, I want to mention the most expensive book that I got at the thrift shops was $3. This first one is 165 pages long, and it was published in 1993. The Hitcher by R.L. Stine. He wants a ride. She wants a thrill. So in spite of her best friend Terry's arguments, Christina stops to pick up the handsome hitchhiker. He's everything she thought he'd be, and more. Much, much more. Maybe too much more. Maybe enough to thrill Christina and Terry to death. I know I read this in high school. I was a dancer, and I ballet and tap and jazz and all that, and I spent so much time dancing. And when I had time off, when I actually had a weekend off, which wasn't very often, but I would spend all day reading R.L. Stine books and go through usually one a day on the weekends. And that was just a nice little treat that I had when I would have time off. The next one is 167 pages long and was published in 1994 also. This one is called Call Waiting. The next call may be her last. Someone wants to talk to Karin badly, very badly. Someone who has something very special to say. Someone who is calling Karin to say they care, to tell her the plans they've made just for her. Someone wants to reach out, touch her, kill her. Poor Karin. She's all alone this time, and if Karin can't trace the killer caller, Karin's going to die. You remember back in the 90s, was it star 69? Yeah, star 69 to find out who called you, and star 67 to make it to where they couldn't see who you were when you were calling them, right? I think that's right. Kids these days will never understand that kind of stuff, right? And the last book that I am going to be hauling today has a copyright of 1992, and it's 164 pages long. Hit and Run. Eddie, Scott, Winks, and Cassie. They went out for a drive one night, just to practice, so Eddie would be sure and get his license. Then Eddie had a little accident. Now 4 friends share a terrible secret, because Eddie hit someone and killed him. Didn't he? Pretty sure I read this one too. It's funny, I don't have a lot of nostalgia about actually being in high school. Like if I could go back, I wouldn't. But I have a lot of nostalgia about the books, the movies, the music from that era. So those are all the books that I got. If I were to look into the future and accurately tell you something about my future, it would probably be that there's another used book haul coming to this channel in the near future. Let me know if you've read any of these books, or if you want to read any of these books, or if you have any comments about any of these books. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and night. Happy reading. Bye.